So hi, I'm Kelly from Styring Vineyards. Molly the wine dog and I are taking a little walk. We do this a few times a week around the vineyard, so we thought it might be kind of fun for you to come. And here's Molly the wine dog. She looks like she is ready to go. She's standing in front of a beautiful blackberry thicket. We make pie and jam and basically eat tons of blackberries in summer, fresh Oregon blackberries. And that's the start of our walk. We head down the road toward the vineyard. Here we go. All right, the first turn off of the main road is down a logging road, an abandoned logging road, and you can see the grass is pretty high. It's close to knee height. This is where we saw cougar tracks earlier in the year. We're hoping she's passed on to other places. We'll see. Hey Molly, what you doing? Hey Molly, what you doing? What you doing, Molly? What you doing? Here's a really gorgeous patch of what's called vetch. It's a clinging vine, excellent for erosion control. We have it all over the farm. It's really beautiful. Oh, holy cow, this is exciting. This is a wild Oregon iris, and there are quite a few of them here. You just have to be really careful not to trod on them because they are gorgeous and they are growing wild right next to the vineyard. There's the vineyard. Here we see the work of a vole. This is not a gopher hole, as would commonly be mistaken. These are voles, and pretty big ones, too, to be making such a large mound. You can tell a gopher hole because you can see where their hole used to be. Oh, cool. A most excellent slug. This is not a very big one. This is not a very big slug, as you can see. We have banana slugs. Get to be as big as your hand. Okay, we're coming up the first hill now into the vineyard proper. There's Molly up ahead. And a couple of big trees, which are really nice. We don't actually walk through the vineyard. We try to keep our feet out of the soil. We don't want to compact the soil. This is our new Riesling area. It's about a little less than 2 acres. It should be producing in the next year or so. You can see at Styring things are kind of messy. We have tall grass. We have some blackberries we need to rid ourselves of. And then we have the nicely tended vines in between. That's because we are a poison-free farm. So it'll always be a little bit messy. You'll also see no irrigation pipe. We don't irrigate. The soil is nice and moist right now because we've had lots of rain recently, but the soil will keep its moisture deep, and because the plants are not irrigated, their roots go deep, and we don't water them. Here's a small patch of crimson clover growing wild. It also makes a great ground cover, keeps the soil nice and in place, free from erosion. There's also some snail or slug eggs of some sort in there, that kind of gooey looking stuff. That's always a good sign. Anytime that you have that kind of activity out in your vineyard, it means that things are alive, and living things are. You can also see here up at the gate, we have roses, big climbing roses. They'll be in bloom in a couple of weeks. See lots of tiny buds on them. This is a rose variety called New Dawn. Absolutely loves to live here. Again, we raise it in a poison-free environment, and it thrives. Here's a real find. This is a wild Oregon rose. When we clean out the drainage ditches along the front of the property, this is Ribbon Ridge Road, we do it manually. Again, we don't poison, and that allows us to be very selective about what we take out, and it promotes biodiversity. So we've selected to keep as many beautiful roses as possible. Now we're at the top of the driveway. This is a piece we call Mama's Ass because it's large and round and a little bit lumpy. In defense of the family, I did name that, so no harm, no foul. From this vantage point, you can see the 2 large leaf maples. They are quite visible from Bald Peak Mountain. That's a good landmark for the farm, and you can see the little white bee houses. We do have bees on the farm that produce our raw honey that we sell only at the vineyard at special events when we're open. Here you see a nice, healthy blackberry vine. This is problematic for a few reasons. It's growing right next to one of the grapevines and will definitely grow up and impair it a little bit. So we do remove those manually. They do make chemicals that you can use on farms to rid yourself of this, what is generally considered a noxious weed, unless you have it in a patch where you can grow it and eat it, which we also have on the farm. But again, we've chosen not to poison, so we'll remove those with a hoe. Here we have one of many wild plum trees on the farm. Again, probably a volunteer from a seed that survived the tropical typhoon that took all the plum trees off of Ribbon Ridge. We also have a couple of apple trees that produce great fruit for the So we're coming up on the lower, what we call the triangle, or the V portion below the vineyards. It's a piece of lowland. It's where drainage water runs through, and there's a little creek. So I'm going to hope that it's dry enough to cross, and that I'm not going to go about 2 feet deep any second now. And I'm hoping Molly's leading me through the dry part of the creek bed now. Looks like moderately successful. My Merrill boots are a little bit wet, but my feet are perfectly dry. So we're going to keep going. We're going to go up to a vineyard that was the third that we put in, that we so creatively named the third. From this vantage point, you can see this spectacular large leaf maple and this red plum tree smack in the middle of the vineyard. Yes, it causes us some issues with shade, but boy, the plums are beautiful, organic. We eat them all summer, straight from the tractor. You can reach almost all of them, and we wouldn't do anything differently. Now we've come upon my neighbor's pigs. In the next few weeks, hopefully that dude will be baking on my table. Yes, all of our food has a face. Here we see a beautiful fir tree with lots of healthy new growth, and wow, it's just spectacular. And every time I walk by here, it just smells like Christmas. Looks like Molly is digging for something. Probably a gopher. We have lots of gopher on the farm. Get it, Molly. Get it, girl. What is it? What is it? So the holes smell pretty strong to Molly, so she enjoys this a lot. What is it, girl? What you got there? What you got, Molly? You got a gopher? What is it, girl? Go get it. I think she just likes to smell it. She got her spoils.
Sometimes I can get it up in the air.
She's alright. What you got, Molly? What you got? What you got, Molly? What you got there? What you got, Molly? Good. This is another logging road no longer in service on the property, and at the end of it you see this gorgeous madrone tree. Madrones are pretty, I guess, noteworthy in the... Here we are at the back side of the winery, and we have a very interesting tree here. It's black walnut on one side and English walnut on the other. That's because there was a blight early in the 20th century, and people cut off the English walnut to the ground and grafted on black walnut. But because they didn't keep up with the suckers from the bottom, many of the trees on our farm are half and half. There's another one down there as well. Okay, well, we're wrapping up our walking house. It's been a little more than an hour, and it's a good day. We're trying to beat the rain in, and looks like I had a great walk because my shoes are pretty muddy, but my feet are dry. My legs are pretty muddy. Got a little cut there from the blackberries. That's some added drama we weren't expecting. And we'll head up to the farmhouse now for some well-deserved lunch.